Micky, when did you first come across the Bedser twins?
My first year here as a professional cricketer with Surrey after completing my national service, and I came into the dressing room and referred to Alec as Mr. Bedser, and he replied, "What's this Mr. Bedser?" He said, "You call me Alec, I'm not a bloody amateur."
And could you tell between the two of them? Could you tell which was Alec and which was Eric?
After a week or so, yeah. They ceased to look alike, a bit like you and me in a way.
I don't think anything like you and me.
This season, Surrey bring out their Tweedledum and Tweedledee. Twin brothers, Eric and Alec Bedser, fresh from the RAF.
But they were obviously terrific cricketers, but Eric was always slightly in Alec's shadow. Is that the way it felt at the time, because Alec was the one who went on to play for England?
Yeah, well, obviously that was the thing. The point was, the way they'd grown up in cricket as kids at the two schools they went to, and then the local vicar was very cricket-minded. They both bowled the same, which is what Alec bowled, and they just tossed up as to who was going to change. And Eric lost the toss and bowled off-spinners from then. And when you think he did that, he got 800 wickets plus as the second spinner, you might say, with Jim Laker here. It was a tremendous performance, apart from the runs that he got. But Alec was obviously something special.
But a lot of people don't really sort of know in the modern era where Alec fits in, because they see pictures sometimes of keepers standing up to him, and yet he opened the bowling. How would you describe his bowling for the modern generation?
He always wanted the keeper to stand up no matter what. And you would say that, let me say, he was not as quick as Jimmy Anderson when Jimmy Anderson isn't at his quickest, shall we say. But he was a fraction below that in pace. But bear in mind, physically, he was such a big guy also, and compared with Jimmy Anderson. And but pace-wise, it would be something a bit below Jimmy Anderson, I'd say.
And when you look at the pair of them, their contribution to Surrey cricket, can it be quantified?
Well, it was absolutely huge. I mean, they both started before the Second World War, I'd say, and they completed their war service. They were in active service. They got out of Dunkirk. And
they were in Dunkirk, weren't they?
Yeah, they got out of Dunkirk. Yeah, and they were amazing. They would going to the beach, and what would come along was something like a black taxi, and it stopped, and the driver said, "Aren't you Alec Bedser?"
Were they together at the time on the beach?
Yes, yeah. No, he probably said, "Aren't you the Bedser twins?" I was at fault then. And it took them where they had to go. And then they got out of it, and they got across the water onto a train. And where did it stop? Outside Woking Station, where they'd grown up all their lives.
So they hopped off and went home, did they?
No, there was somebody there who was going to get off and give their mum a message.
And as far as their contribution in the great 50s dominating era, when Surrey won 7 titles in a row, were they instrumental in that?
Well, they both played very leading parts in those years, because the National Service only played in 5 of the 7 with them. And Alec, led the attack, obviously, and with Peter Loader, and the technique, as like a big in-swing, and he bowled his leg cutter or so. And then I can tell you, Charles, when I came into the side and fielded at bat pad as it was then, and Stewie went to slip, and Tony Locke was behind, I started in July 1954, and it was 1957 before I went like that, and a horizontal shot had been played off Alec that was whizzing round my ears. Yeah.
How much of a disappointment to Eric was it that he never got to play for England? Alec did, and played with such distinction, but Eric was always the other Bedser twin. Was that a blight on his career from his point of view?
I think he would feel the same as you and I would feel in that way, because it was an incredible relationship. It was just as if they were one person, really, cut into 2. And as I say, that Eric had given away bowling as same as Alec there. He played in that test trial up at Bradford, where Jim Laker played against him, got 8 for 2, and gave one of those runs was a full toss to Eric to get him off the mark because he was playing in that side. So yeah, but they both. I mean, when you think that when Jim Laker and Tony Locke went off to playing Test matches, Eric Bedser came in and always played a puck. He had huge hands, spun the ball well, and he was very, very instrumental in winning those matches when the Test matches were on, particularly.
In later years, they were known as being a little bit on the grumpy side. I think
that was polite.
Yeah. Were they like that in the playing days? In the dressing room, were they always the grumps in the corner or not?
Not really. I mean, life was different then, and people were different also, and they never made a fuss, or the average English person never made a fuss about when things went well. You didn't jump around, except Lockie did now and again, and whatever. You never got too down when things got a bit going the other way. But no, you would say that they never went out of their way to, shall we say, bestow big praises on things, or so. Never went overboard.
It's their 100th birthday this year, and it's something that all Surrey fans of any age should celebrate, because they have been such a huge part of this club's history.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you know, as I say, I came here as a kid and sat in the terraces over there when there were just planks of wood to sit on, and remember them then first over that 46 when the Test match here against India, and Alec was playing in that as well, and saw them start. So, you know, that they were just part of Surrey cricket to me, and without it there'd be a big gap. And it's nice to know at the moment that the Bedser name is being kept alive.
This signature's been scrawled in thousands of autograph books, but young batsman Micky Stewart's also kept busy.